I always want to learn more about who I am and why I work how I work. 23-time gold medalist, the thing that I loved the most is being able to represent my country. Throughout my career, I remember Thorpe saying publicly that nobody would ever win 8 gold medals. And I was like, watch this. I'm gonna prove you wrong, bud, just so you know. I just think there are people out there that aren't afraid to dream and aren't afraid to literally go after times that are impossible. And with technology in all sports and with preparation, with recovery, we're now able to see records or feats that we never thought we'd see. If you're able to take care of yourself, watch what happens. I'm somebody who deals and struggles with depression and anxiety. If I can take care of my mental and my physical health the same exact way, then I can become my own superhero.
What does it mean to be succeeding mentally?
I don't compartmentalize. I don't shove things down. I'm able to talk about the things that I'm struggling with. That's a win.
Michael, welcome back to the Whip Podcast.
Thank you.
I want to talk to you about team sports and about Team USA and USA swimming in general. You've said some things recently about how you'd like to see it go in a different direction. Like, what's going on with USA swimming? I mean, from my standpoint, if I were involved with USA swimming, I would be like on a plane the next day trying to figure out how I get Michael Phelps involved and make you a big part of this.
Yeah, well, it's kind of been crazy over the last, I guess, really 25, 30 years, right? Like, even when I was still in the sport, I don't think USA Swimming did everything that they could have done to help us be our best. And if I'm saying that and I'm feeling that,
that's a problem. Yeah.
Yeah. And for me, I feel like I've tried to make some kind of positive change. And to be honest, I have felt like they just shut the door in my face and tell me to get lost. It's hard. It's really hard because all I want to do is make change for the athletes because that's the most important thing. And they don't treat the athletes as they should.
What are some examples of things that you'd want to see them do? If you could wave a magic wand, how would you treat the athletes?
I think there needs to be more transparency with absolutely everything. There needs to be more accountability. And again, the athletes need to be put first. I've never felt like I was put first. I just did things because I was going to do them and nobody was going to get in my way. The lack of leadership that we have going into an LA Olympic Games when the last couple Olympics haven't been that successful worries me. It took us 372 days to find a new CEO. How is that possible? Name one company or one organization that would wait that long to hire a CEO. I'd like to be a part of the board. I'd like to do whatever I can do to help. But again, every time I've gone to them and said stuff, the old national team director told me I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about.
Wow.
It's like, come back to me when you know what you're talking about. I don't want my kids to swim.
Wow. Yeah.
Like, for me going through what I went through in 20 plus years in that sport, I would never want them to go through what I went through with USA Swimming.
What are examples of things that you experienced that you felt like were just not productive?
Everything, honestly. Like, I have 20-year paper trails of stuff that emails back and forth. I got turned away from the training room to get treatment going into 2008. There were a bunch of therapists just sitting there not doing anything, and they said, we're not working right now. So I had to leave and not get treatment.
And how is that possible? Like, I can't even imagine, your star Olympic athlete not getting treatment whenever the hell you need it.
If I'm getting treated like that.
Yeah, what's the average Olympic swimmer getting treated, right?
Or the average Olympian or any other Olympian for that.
Right.
Right.
I don't know the inner workings of the Olympics at all, but I always thought it was crazy the sleeping setup, right? Like, you go your whole career like training to be so optimal for a given day, and then they're like, "Hey, why don't you go sleep on a cardboard mattress?"
It's like the size of this bed, size of this table, about as soft,
like,
as hard as this table. But we had our little egg cartons that we put over top of it, and some of the guys got extenders. So even the guys that were like 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", their feet are still hanging off the bed. But for us, I mean, like, when we were in the games or in the village, everybody's going through the same exact thing, right? Like, everybody's eating the same food, the same exact accommodations. Nothing is different. So it's a level playing field, right? And it does suck sometimes that,
that at least is level because everyone's kind of dealing with it.
Correct. But it does stink that we get to that point and you're basically sleeping on a cot.
Do you feel like some of this comes back to funding? Like, does the body of USA Swimming need more money?
I don't. I mean,
you think it's cultural?
Yeah.
And leadership.
Mm-hmm. The stipend, I believe, is the same amount that I got 10 years ago. $1,750 a month.
Wow.
Top 2 athletes.
Yeah, I mean, that's not going to get you very far.
In this day and age, no. You can go to 3K if you want, but if you go to 3K, then you can only go to this swim meet, that swim meet. Like, I don't know if it's still that way. Like, you can sign up for, I think it's APA, where you can get more money, but then USA Swimming basically dictates your schedule of what meets you can go to and this and that. All I want is change. I hope no one's taking this as me just dogging USA Swimming. For me, like, honestly, again, I can't say this enough. The athletes need to be treated better.
Yeah.
Cut and dry, period.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to stop until it's solved.
Well, I think it's important that your voice is heard. I mean, I know you well, and like even only recently have I fully understood just your frustration with the sport. And I feel like Americans at large should know the frustration you have with the sport, because that's what's going to, create some change. Mm-hmm. And if Michael Phelps isn't happy about USA Swimming, it's hard to imagine a lot of swimmers are all that happy with USA Swimming. And they certainly don't have the platform or the voice that you have.
I'll say, like, for me too, like, when I retired from the sport, I learned a lot more, because when I was competing, you're so submerged in everything that you're going through and you're focused on what you're doing. Right? Yeah. I was super shocked the more I just kept trying to find stuff. I have a couple friends that we've been working on trying to make change for a few years now. And the things that we've found, it really is mind blowing. I don't know if we should talk about some of those things right now. I had a conversation with Sarah Hirschland, the USOPC CEO, and I told her about some of the stuff, and I don't know if it was well received or not. But again, I'm not doing this for any other reason than to make change for the athletes.
Yeah.
I cannot say that enough. I'm not taking shots at people. I'm not pointing fingers. I just want change because we deserve it.
Yeah, of course. And it's such an important part of the Olympics, and it's an important sport, and it's something that there's a lot of history for.
I mean, for me, like
American athletes,
the grassroots of swimming are young kids that are just learning to swim. I mean, the sport is down 8 to 10% in the last 8 years.
In terms of participation. Mm-hmm. And what does it take to increase participation? Do you feel like there needs to be more of a Super Bowl of swimming every year, so to speak? Like,
I mean, I think, like we have so many meets throughout the year, whether it's Grand Prix, we have one major meet every single summer, Pan Pacific Games, World Championships, and the Olympics kind of rotate in every quad. I don't know. I mean, I think we have a lot of talent. The American team has always been really, really dominant. It's kind of crazy to see how the rest of the world is caught up, right? We used to be dominant for decades, and the rest of the world is caught up, right? It was usually USA, Australia on every single podium. Now you have countries from all over the world that are listening to their national anthem. So I think, a lot of them obviously train here in the US with our college coaches, but they have the opportunity to do that. And I think it's really, for me, like I loved being able to swim against my competitors, especially training. Like if I'm able to learn from what they're doing and put it to what I'm doing, I'm only going to grow and get faster and faster, right? So I don't know. Yeah, I think a lot has to change, and I hope we can get things right between now and LA, because we're running out of time.
Well, yeah, it's going to take a lot to get things right by then. It's not that far away. I mean, let me ask you this. The Olympians that are going to be successful in LA, are they all pretty much known at this point? I mean, obviously 2028 sounds like it's far away, but I also know the amount of work, it's years of work to be on that stage. Is it safe to say you already know 95% of who that U.S. team is?
I mean, you can probably
90%, 80%.
You're going to have some new, fresh faces, new names pop out and do some unbelievable times in the next couple of years. They're going to have an opportunity to make that team, right? Like for me, going back to my first Olympic team, like a year before the games, I think I got 5th or 6th at nationals.
This is when you were like 15. Yeah.
And then at Olympic trials, I go kind of under the radar. Nobody really knows who I am. And I get 2nd. I was 7th with a 50 to go and get 2nd. So you're going to have people like that come up and I guess make a name for themselves.
And at this stage, if you were 15-year-old Michael Phelps going to the 2028 Olympics, so to speak, no one would have known who you are today.
Yeah.
So it's still possible that there's some great people.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So maybe from that standpoint, the optimistic thing to say is change can be made in time to influence the outcome of LA.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But things need to start changing.
Yesterday. I mean, I could probably go through and tell you what times are probably going to win some of these races or who's going to win some of these races, right? Like, especially over the next 2 years, because you're going to have seeing what people go at Pan Pacific Games and Commonwealth Games and then World Championships. By that point, the year before the games, you kind of already know where everybody stands and what times they're able and capable of doing in that next year. Look, you have Leon Marchand, who's unbelievable. All right, Leon swims with Bob. I swam with Leon's dad back in the day. And Leon can swim a fairly large program because he can swim multiple races, multiple events. Then you're going to have Summer McIntosh. It's the same thing. Canadian swimmer that swims with Bob as well. She's going to swim a handful of races, individual races. You have a ton of unbelievable female swimmers from Australia. Like, their team is stacked. It's going to be anybody's game, but obviously whoever's going to win that gold medal is going to be the most prepared person there. That's just how it works.
Yeah. Well,
no matter if you're the most talented or not, whoever did the most work to get to that point is going to get the results they deserve.
Yeah. And it sounds like it's more wide open than in 10 years ago it might have been. Yeah.
I mean, I heard some current swimmers say that it was easier to compete against the rest of the world when I was swimming. I don't really agree with that, but I mean, I was swimming against some of the greatest swimmers on the planet. Ian Thorpe, Grant Hackett, Peter Van den Hogenbond.
Totally.
Michael Klim.
Yeah.
Some of the best. Ian Crocker, Tom Malchow, Tom Dolan. Some of the greatest swimmers in the history of the sport.
So your point is, it's not necessarily that all these other countries have gotten a lot better, but there's a sign that maybe the U.S. is fading.
I wouldn't say that. It's people aren't afraid to dream. You know, when I see somebody like Leon who, to go 4:02 and break my world record, he broke my last standing world record a few times. How he did it, I believe he could probably break 4 minutes. The talent level on the high end is unbelievable. And again, Leon swims 4 or 5 races, 3 to 5 races, and he's going to win every one of those.
Wow.
So I think it's kids from all over the globe that aren't afraid to reach as high as they possibly can. The sky is the limit, and that's what they're going for.
Totally. The world record thing, it fascinates me because, like you just said, he broke your last world record. I think if you were to poll a lot of people, like, you know, general swim fans or whatever, they'd be like, how many world records has Michael Phelps had? You know, they'd probably guess like 5, 7, you know? So there's something fascinating about how these times over time fall. Like, what is that? Is it always having that number to reach for and people keep reaching? Like, I mean, I always look back on that story about Roger Bannister who broke the 4-minute mile.
Yep.
And then, you know, within like 6 months after that, like everyone broke the 4-minute mile after no one thought it was possible.
100, like that's what, like I think that was my point before was like, yeah, I think throughout my career I was able to do times that people didn't believe I was going, right? Like, I mean, people said I was a cheater my whole life. I took drugs and this, that, and the other. Like, I'm one of the most tested athletes on the planet. Like,
Totally.
All of my results are,
Totally.
You can go online and look. People aren't afraid to go after times or feats that others think are impossible or not possible, right? So, like, throughout my career, I remember Thorpe telling me or saying publicly that nobody would ever win 8 gold medals. And I was like, watch this.
Yeah.
I'm going to prove you wrong, bud, just so you know. And then he said going into 2016, no one over the age of 30 will win an individual gold medal. And him saying that, like, I gave him a hard time afterwards, and he was like, bud, I know how you work. I know how your mentality is, and I know when you hear something like that, it's going to fire you up to go do it. I just think there are people out there that aren't afraid to dream and aren't afraid to literally go after times, like I said, that are impossible. Like, if Leon was to break 4 minutes in the 400 IM, nobody on the planet is thinking about doing that, probably but him, right? Like, to be able to, it's almost a numbers game, right? You kind of have to slice up the 400 IM to be able to break 4 minutes. And he has the 4 strokes and the breaststroke and the underwater and easy butterfly to be able to do that. And with technology in all sports and with preparation, with recovery, with whatever it might be, I think we're now able to see records or feats that we never thought we'd see.
I mean, recovery has to be a big theme. I'm thinking of things that are true today that may have been less true 15 years ago in the sport, or in any sport for that matter, that are pushing athletes further and further and further. I think technology is one. I think emphasis on recovery is another, sleep's another.
But it's just the data, right? Like I feel like it's the data that we're getting. I was talking earlier, for me, like when I'm sleeping and when I was swimming, it was 20% REM, 20% deep. If I get both of those numbers in a night, it's full on go tomorrow. Like it's full throttle, full send. I'm ready to just get crushed.
And so just to do that math for people, if you're getting 40% of your time in restorative sleep, which is REM and slow wave, and you probably would spend, 8-9 hours in bed then?
Yep, back then, yeah.
So then you're getting, 4.5 hours of restorative sleep. For anyone who's gotten 4.5 hours of restorative sleep, like you feel amazing. Amazing.
Yeah. So like that was our benchmark every single day.
Yeah.
And now it's like, you look at the recovery tools, right? Like, yeah, I was doing an ice tub. We were going and getting 50 bags of ice and putting it into a tub in our,
it's before
in our
cottage
hotel
industry.
Yeah.
Cold plunges.
But like Graston, cupping is taken off, right? Like gua sha, like all of these different techniques and all of this, all of the data behind that stuff and how much it actually is effective, right? And people were just like, okay, I'm in, right? Like the craze right now about saunas and cold tubs, I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been doing it for 20 years.
Totally.
But I love it because people are now more interested in getting the most out of their body and their mind that they can to be able to be the best version of them. And I think the only reason we're able to do that is because of these biometrics and these little small data points that we're finding and we're using.
You described the thread that Whoop has tried to pull over the last 10 years, which is to start with pro athletes and take the learnings from pro athletes and the data that pro athletes are using and then bring that to the mass market and to have people understand what they can do to feel better in their life. And that doesn't mean they're going to win a gold medal, but it can mean that, they're getting 40% of restorative sleep and all of a sudden feel amazing in their job. Right?
And that's the thing, right? Like if you're able to take care of yourself, watch what happens.
Yeah.
Right. Like for me, I'm always talking about now, like if I can take care of my mental and my physical health the same exact way, then I can become my own superhero. Like my kids call me Aquaman. So like, I always talk about that because I think it is so important to pay attention to both. Again, to be the best version of your authentic self.
What does it mean to be succeeding mentally?
When I talk about mental health, for me, I'm somebody who deals and struggles with depression and anxiety. And there are days where I don't want to get up, right? So there are days I just want to curl up into a ball and have nobody around me. And sometimes those days, the room feels like it's shrinking over top of me. But on those days, it's how can I get that 10%, 20%, 50% out of the day instead of doing a zero, right? Like for me, a zero is I'm taking 5 steps back.
Right.
So for me, it's so important in those moments to almost be able to turn that channel. Like your head is a TV. How can I redirect what I'm doing? For me, it's always getting in that cold tub because you have to be aware. You have to be present in that exact moment. I like learning more about myself to give myself a better chance because I know what my kids potentially are going to go through and I want to be able to help them in any way that I can. I used to hate and was very uncomfortable when I would talk about my own journey with mental health. But it's who I am. During my career, I would look in the mirror and I would see somebody with a pair of goggles and a swim cap on, not somebody with a beard and a man bun and gray hair. I didn't see somebody with feelings and emotions.
You didn't see the human side of you.
No.
You
never.
saw the killer athlete.
Yep. The guy that went out and won a couple gold medals and broke some world records. I never saw myself as a human, no. So like for me, now I like who I am. Like I laugh at my little grays that are coming through. So like every little day that I don't compartmentalize, I don't shove things down, I'm able to talk about the things that I'm struggling with. That's a win. I've built a couple groups that, men's groups that we have. Recent article just came out. It's me, Jay Glazer, Andrew Whitworth, Mark Kerr, and Dwayne Johnson. And we're on a group chat and it's just the banter, the camaraderie, but it's also the support, because we've all gone through amazing walks in life and been super successful, but we still struggle with depression or anxiety or some other mental illness. So for me, it's been super important to be able to have those guys that no matter what time it is, I can literally send a text. They pick up the phone and call. Because the more you shove things down and compartmentalize, the more you're probably going to blow up like a volcano. So, I mean, for me, it's okay not to be okay, right? But as long as we're learning. So my journey through this mental health world is never over. But I think to be winning at mental health, it's taking care of yourself.
And it sounds like also, seeing your whole self. I think that's what's so powerful about what you just shared is I think a lot of people look in the mirror and they see themselves and they're like upset that they don't see an Olympian or they don't see someone who's got a medal or a trophy or this title or that title, CEO, whatever. For you actually finding peace also means seeing your whole self and actually not seeing that side of things. You talked about seeing your beard. And so I think there's a lot for people to take from that. Like if they can actually look in the mirror and see their whole selves, that is finding peace. And to balance that with the chase of whatever it is that they want to do in life, right? That is the hard part, I find personally, is the balance of being grateful for where you are in the moment with the drive to do more and to achieve more and to chase more. And I think grateful is the right word because that's actually what pulls me to be the most present, I find, is when I'm appreciating, okay, I'm here right now. Like I'm in this room, I'm with you, we're talking about life like that. That's what keeps me centered, I find. I think gratitude is like the best balance with drive. If you just live on that dopamine cycle, and I see it a lot in my world, which is like very successful entrepreneurs and CEOs and people who are like, okay, well, I'm going to be happy when we're worth 100 million or worth 1 billion or worth 10 billion or worth 100. Like, and that goalpost actually never stops. Like it really doesn't stop. And they're on this dopamine cycle of trying to get to the next thing. And they inevitably burn out and they use up all their dopamine thinking they're going to be happy when they get there and they're never happy. Like you have to find checkpoints, I find. For me, like a daily gratitude practice has helped. Even prayer has helped. Like I've gotten, I think, more spiritual as I've gotten more like successful or gotten to be around successful people.
Yeah, like I'm with you. Like I never grew up being super religious, but there is a higher power.
Yeah.
I don't know who it is.
Yeah.
I don't know what his name is, her name is, but there's somebody greater than me that put me here to do something great. And that's what we just have to try to do, right? And what popped in my head when you were just talking was living in the moment, like the presence. Like if, like for me, the power of now, Eckhart Tolle, that book, literally I've read it 10 times.
That's the book with the crazy cover, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's so like for me,
it's a good book.
I loved it because you can future trip or you can live in the past or you can live in the present, right? What's right here and now? What can I control right here and now, right? Control the controllables is something I've lived by for a long time. Good friend of mine, dear friend of mine, Greg Harden. I spent tons of time with him at Michigan, and that's one thing that he taught me, and I think it's so important. Because if you focus on controlling the controllables, watch what happens.
Well, that's also a good way to remove anxiety, I think, too. If something's out of your control and you're worrying about it, well, that's not going to do you a lot of good.
Correct.
But if something's in your control, then maybe you should worry about it and you should focus on it, right?
Yes.
And there is something about, I think, action can change emotion, right? Like just doing the thing can change your state.
That's one of my favorite quotes is actions speak louder than words.
Yeah.
Right? Like you just have to do that. You have to hold yourself accountable. And
when you're in one of those days where you feel like the room's shrinking and you don't want to get out of bed, like you mentioned the cold plunging, what are other little things that you find get you through the day or get you out of that state?
Talking about what I'm going through, no matter how uncomfortable it is. And that can be with my wife, with one of my therapists. It can be with one of my friends. Like it doesn't matter. Like just getting it out or working out. Working out is something that is incredible for me. Like if I'm pissed off, I can just go into the weight room and just throw weights around, and I feel so much better afterwards. It's like it's like the Betty White commercial with the Snickers. It's like
you're just hungry.
Yeah, it's just like it's one of those things. And it's just like for me, like once I get through that, And I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm good. Journaling is something that I spend a lot of time doing. And I write down everything, like the positive stuff I'm going through, the negative thoughts that I have going through, absolutely anything. Because I like looking back and just seeing kind of where I was in life and seeing what I was going through. Because I feel like you never stop learning if you're doing that. For me, like I always want to learn more about who I am and why I work how I work.
Well, that's a healthy mindset. You know, one thing that we're working on at Whoop is this whole idea of the system having memory. And so in the app, you can now interact directly with Whoop. Going forwards, it'll remember everything that you tell it. That'll in turn enable Whoop to give you better coaching. So let's just pretend for a second that all of your journal entries were in this Whoop knowledge base. Like, again, just for you, it'd be personalized entirely to you. It might help you identify, hey, when you go to bed at this time and you have this thing and you've journaled this thing, well, it's like that trifecta is the trigger, or, you know, for you to feel bad, or for you to feel good, or whatever. And I get really excited about bringing all of this information under one roof. We internally call it a health operating system, to then be able to coach and advise and, you know, be this doctor or health coach to you.
Everything that y'all do, every little new detail that you guys come out with it's insane. You know, like me talking about all these stats from when I was training, and now it's like every single day I'm looking at it just to know, can I full send today? Do I need to take a step back? Like, and to your point, right? Like what you just said about going to sleep at a certain time, or having this and not doing this, or doing this but not doing this, and being able to just have all, I mean,
make sense of it.
Yeah. Like if I go to bed at this time and I have this to snack on before I go to sleep, I know I'm going to get that 40%. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, or is going out until 2:00, really 2 a.m. really healthy and really smart for you if you're trying to do this? You know what I'm saying? So like, it's fascinating to me that you're able, Whoop's able to have this accessible for everybody, right? Like, you know, 2012, right? Like crazy.
Yeah, it's come a long way since then.
Right? Like, yeah, it's pretty incredible to see the excitement level for it. People are pumped to learn more about themselves and want to grow. The changes that we've seen over the last 20 years, like, I'm excited to see where the world takes us now.
Yeah, it's a very exciting time to be building this company. And we launched this feature recently, the Health Span feature, which tells you your Whoop age. That's one where I've seen a lot of people like really latch on from a behavior change, even if it's not telling them what they like initially.
Oh, 100%.
Oh shit, I'm 5.5 years older and my sleep consistency sucks, and I don't actually exercise as much as I thought, and I have 0 hours of strength training a week. Like, okay, I now know what I have to do. And so there's an element of, I just feel like longevity has become this thing in the cultural zeitgeist, which is suddenly so popular. And it's funny even talking to people who are in their 50s, 60s, and 70s who are, you know, by a lot of metrics are very successful. And their like whole new thing amongst their friend groups is actually about health. It's like, who can be the healthiest?
Correct.
Right? It's not about who's got the best plane or the biggest mansion anymore. It's like, who's like the healthiest? And I love that.
I go back and forth with friends, and the Whoop age, I have a couple friends that are like 4 years younger than me. Yet every single day my HRV is higher. My sleep is better. But it is like, I'm a competitive human, right? So it's just like that banter back and forth. You know, like my wife is 2 years younger than me, you know, so it's just like, she's like, ha, 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 ha.
Yeah.
But just like, I think that aspect is really fun. It's just cool.
Are there any aspects of Whoop that you feel like you're still working on? I mean, obviously when you were an Olympian, there was a lot you were working on.
Yeah.
Today, what does winning look like?
Sleep is something that I believe people overlook. I don't think we sleep enough as humans. You know, for me, like we said, I was sleeping, 8 to 10 hours a night when I was training, plus taking a nap.
Wow.
You know, like I'm lucky to get 7 to 8 now, 7.5. And if I'm able to do that, then, okay, was my sleep good? Like, right? Like I go back and still look at that 20%. Am I still close to that? But I think for me, like you said, like longevity, like I want to be as healthy as I can. I want to take care of my body the best way I can, just like I did for the last 25 years of my life, because it's what I know. It's the only thing that I've done. Honestly, like for me, I want to put one of these on one of my kids. What is the to be honest, what is the
age limit?
Yeah.
So right now, technically speaking, it's 13.
13. Okay.
Now, some of that is due to rules around the age at which you can be monitoring
Sure.
a youngster. Whoop will only enable
13.
it if you're 13 or older.
What's the oldest Whoop member? Do you know that?
This is a good question. I
Do you
should
have like a
probably
90-year-old
know
or
that.
something? Like,
Yeah,
is there an 85-year-old out there?
You, we have a 90-year-old or a 100-year-old. I mean, that's just when you have that many people on something, you get a wide spectrum. I've seen people who are like 15 years younger, 18 years younger. Now, those tend to be people who are much older.
Yeah.
Because if you're 60 or 70, being 20% younger all of a sudden is now like, 12, 14 years, whatever, right? Whereas if you're 40 years old, okay, 20%, it's like 8 years, right? Yeah. So it's like, it's a little easier as you get older to have a bigger spectrum of Whoop age. Yeah. It's been cool just to see how motivating people find it. It's also one of those things where Whoop for the first time has really told people, this is good, this is bad, and like, because when you go to that HealthSpan page, it's showing you, okay, your lack of strength training is adding 2 years to your life, or, so on and so forth.
Yeah. Again, like those little small baby steps are helping people have a chance, right?
Totally.
And like, again, that's all we want. We want a chance to be great. So thank you guys for doing what y'all do. You guys are changing so many lives, man.
Thank you, brother. So we're about to launch right now Whoop Advanced Labs, which is going to allow people to integrate their blood work into Whoop. And this works in two ways. One is any past blood tests that anyone's done, they can now just upload, and whatever membership tier you're on, doesn't matter. That's included in your Whoop experience. So you're going to be able to see your Whoop data alongside all of your blood work. And then the coaching experience that you and I talked about with the AI, it's going to be able to understand all of that in context. So I, for example, told Whoop all of my supplements, like everything I take, and I uploaded my past blood tests, and obviously I've been on Whoop forever. And so the combination of those three things led Whoop to making better recommendations for my supplements, which is pretty cool.
Huh.
Like immediately I'm like, oh, I should take less of this actually because it's making this other thing go up.
Correct.
That's the ability to upload all your past tests and make your data experience much richer. Second thing we're doing is you can now actually do blood tests through Whoop. So you're going to be able to go to over 2,000 locations across the United States through Quest, and you'll do a blood test, and then within days you're going to see your results in the Whoop app.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's go.
Yeah. So it's going to be pretty cool. You obviously performed at the highest level. Were there times where you learned things from blood work that you felt like influenced some of your diet or your training or anything?
I think for us, we did blood panels 3 to 4 times a year.
It's pretty often.
Yeah. But honestly, the biggest thing was just to, like, when we're going to altitude, making sure our levels are where they need to be. Right. So we don't become iron deficient or this or that while we're up there trying to build in a training environment. So I think for me, it's like white blood cell, red blood cell. What did we used to look at?
I would guess testosterone levels.
Keen dog. Yeah, keen dog.
Testosterone levels.
But it was like
cortisol levels.
Yep, cortisol for sure. But like you have to be in certain windows. So like for me, throughout my career, my blood work was pretty good.
Pretty mild.
Yeah. Like there weren't many things that we really had to change. I think the only supplements I really took, like it was vitamin D, iron, and there was one other, salt tablets.
Oh, that makes sense.
The salt tablets for me to retain water. As a kid growing up, they thought I had Marfan syndrome.
Oh, wow.
So I got a bunch of EKGs done at Hopkins, all these different tests, yada, yada, yada. They basically just said there was a deficiency of salt. So for me, I literally had to take 2 or 3 salt tablets a day, and that was it. My heart, like a regular heartbeat, stopped. But it would happen in training. I literally would be going full blast, and I would feel like I couldn't take a stroke, and I could almost barely breathe. So I had to literally just stop on the wall, 30 seconds, deep breaths, and it went away.
Did it feel like, oh wow, I'm out of breath because my fitness isn't where it is?
It literally felt like my heart was going to pop out of my chest.
Wow.
So yeah, the salt tablets, that was it. And then just ate, right? I got everything from food. I was eating 8,000 to 10,000 calories back then. So It was anything and everything as much as I could, whatever.
Have you fallen in love with food again, or does
No.
it still feel like a chore?
It's still a chore. I eat what I need to.
That's hard.
It is.
Like,
It
if you have
stinks.
to eat 8 to 10,000 calories a day, food all of a sudden is like a chore.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I was pretty much force feeding myself most of the time because I would fluctuate between 5 and 10 pounds in a week, and that's not water weight. I needed to stay at about 195, 200. Like, that was my fighting weight. And if I'm losing weight, then I'm losing muscle. So can't do that. Yeah. So it was literally whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted.
Yeah, you just eat as much as you could.
Keen Dog, my trainer, he's like, eat a power bar, eat a
Keenan
power bar.
Robinson,
Yeah.
for people wondering.
Yeah, Keenan Robinson. He has worked with me. I've worked with him for, oh my gosh, 25 years. Keen Dog's awesome. Yeah.
Well, shout out Keenan, because he was one of the first trainers who we sent to Whoop to, and he liked it, and then he got you on it.
Yep.
And Eric Fent, I remember back then.
Mm-hmm.
But
training.
Anyway, yeah, you've been on Whoop for as long as anyone.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Nah, it's good. It helps me. Helps me be me.
How do you manage parenthood in all of this? And you mentioned before, like, you don't want your kids to swim. That feels like a big decision, as someone who so much of your life and even your identity publicly is defined as being a swimmer.
Yeah. I mean, they'll know how to swim.
Yeah, I can imagine they can work a pool and the ocean just fine. I'm not worried about the Phelps name in water.
But yeah, no, they're not going to swim unless they want to. Like for me, like if they, like Beckett asked recently, is like, maybe I want to try swimming. And I was like, okay, we'll find a coach. Like I will find the coach
You'll get a good coach.
Yeah, I'll find the one that I can trust and one that I know will teach him what he wants and help him if he wants.
It feels like, though, you don't want to be the guy in the pool, calling out times and.
No. Mm-mm. And I don't want to coach my kid.
Yeah.
No, that would be a bad idea. But honestly, like being a dad for me it's one of the greatest things in the world. I have 4 boys, 9, 7, 6, and 18 months. I've noticed and you start seeing more and more once they kind of get their own personalities, is how each and every one of them are so different.
Yeah.
They came from the same 2 people and they're completely different. Like Boomer, Beckett, Maverick, and Nico, like they're literally night and day different. They look different. They talk differently. I don't know. It's fun watching them grow. It's fun watching them compete. And it's fun kind of getting to teach them certain things that I've learned throughout my journey in 40 years on this planet. Hopefully I can give them a couple tricks if they want to compete in certain ways, Boomer's a big old soccer player, and we got basketball. Mavi is just started baseball, and he's loving it. Absolutely loving it.
Okay, what's your tip to a 10-year-old who comes up to you and it's like, I'm so nervous. Like, what do I do?
Nervousness comes from excitement, right? Like, for me, people ask, were you ever nervous during your career? And no. I was nervous in 15 because I was in Sydney because I'd never been to the Olympics before. But like, other than that, I feel like every single time that I went to the block, I was prepared. I wasn't nervous, because I did the work that I knew I needed to do that nobody else was doing to give me that chance, right?
The thing I always repeat in my head is, if you're nervous, be prepared.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot to that.
Mm-hmm. If you're not prepared, naturally you're going to spin, right? Your head will just go in circles. And like for me, like preparation is absolutely everything, right? Like I'm winning races by 100th of a second. The slimmest margin of victory. So if I'm not prepared and somebody else is, then they're going to get what I want. So I'm going to over prepare myself. Nobody will beat me. And that's why I went 6 years without missing a day, because no one else ever did it.
Now, you've probably met athletes who have actually prepared, who've done all the work, but there's like, whatever you want to call it, some kind of stage fright. What's the lesson to that person? What's the coaching to that person?
Find a way to calm yourself.
Yeah.
And it's easier said than done. But like for me, that's why I always had my music. For me, like I was the only person around there. You could try and talk to me, but my music is so loud, I'm not hearing anything. So like that kind of just helped me get.
You went into your own little world.
Yeah. And whatever song it was the words that I heard or the beat that I heard that literally just calmed me. Like hip hop is hip hop, rap, or basically everything I listened to throughout my career. So yeah, I was just always super relaxed. But I mean, I think you can go back and prepare more. Like if you still are nervous, then prepare more. You can never be too prepared. Never be too prepared. Like my coach literally prepared me for absolutely anything. whether my goggles fill up with water, my suit rips, my cap rips, whatever else happens, how am I going to handle that emotionally? Right? Because if it affects me emotionally, then it takes away from my performance. So he kind of basically put me through little tests throughout my career to make sure I was ready for anything that came my way.
And you did win a gold medal with water in your.
So I'm 175 meters dead blind.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
Could not see.
I interviewed Alex Honnold, who famously scaled El Capitan, right? World famous rock climber without a rope. And he talked to me about in great detail how his preparation actually involved not just visualizing all of the steps to climbing, but actually all the ways that he would fall.
Correct.
Or how things would go wrong, or all of a sudden it starts raining, or a bird hits him, or.
And that's it. I did a ton of that too.
It's impressive.
I'll share two different stories. So one, Bob would teach me, or he taught me at a young age to play tapes, like put a video in the cassette player and play a race in your mind, how I wanted it to go, how I didn't want it to go, and how it could go. Because when I got there, you're calm, right? Your emotions aren't getting flustered and all thrown out of whack because you're already prepared for it. And then how about this? Going into 2008, I kept seeing a dream. And the dream, I kept seeing the time of 3:07. And I'd come into practice and I'd be like, Bob, I saw that 3:07 dream again last night. I don't know what this is. There's no 300 meters. Like, what is this? After 2008, we figured out that it was my 300 split of my 400 IM. Through the first 3 legs, fly back and breast, that was my time, 3:07.
Oh, wow.
So I literally was seeing that and living it. And I go to Beijing, the very first race, 400 IM, win the gold medal, break the world record, and I'm out in 3:07. That race for me.
There's some subconscious going on there, right? Like, because you didn't even know what 3:07 was.
Yeah, no clue. I was like, what the hell is this?
That's
and then
crazy.
Bang. For me, like the 400 IM was one of my babies. 1 in 04, 1 in 08, doo-doo in 12, my own fault. But yeah, like for me, like that race was Ryan and I going toe to toe pretty much all the time. Ryan Lochte and I going toe to toe. I mean, if I didn't have him to push me, I don't know if I would have gone 4:03 by myself.
Right.
Like he pushed me to push as hard as I possibly can and go beyond my own limits at times. But I think, that was one of the things that I was really thankful for is I had somebody that loved the sport so much, loved to compete so much. And we just became homies and raced for 15, 20 years together.
Amazing, man. What's next for you over the next few months, or what's on the horizon?
Coaching a little bit of soccer, right? I got Boomer and Beckett are both on the soccer team, getting Mav through baseball. He, again, loving it, loves sports.
Are you someone who'll like yell at the refs, or you're pretty background noise?
Yeah. I sometimes get a little spicy. No, honestly, it's like I want the refs to teach the kids the game, right? Like, especially in soccer when somebody's getting kicked or tripped or punched or bladed, like it's crazy. Like Boomer gets targeted so much. Yeah.
Because of his last name?
I don't know if it's his last name. Like Boomer's a nasty soccer player.
Oh, he's a good soccer player.
I'm obviously biased towards my own son, but like he's really good. Like in Cabo, when we were down there for a couple weeks, he literally is practicing 5 days a week for an hour and a half by himself with a coach.
Oh,
like
great.
He is fully invested, told me he wants to be the next Messi. He's going to score more goals than Messi. So for me, I'm like, all right, this is sick. Honestly, it's doing more of that stuff. It's being a dad. I have a ton of travel for work and stuff, still continuing to try to take that Band-Aid off and get the people the help they need when they're struggling with mental health, right? Like I know there could be somebody listening to today that is struggling. And if you are, I want you to know you're not alone and it's okay not to be okay. But to get those people the help and care they need is something that's a big, big mission for me. The suicide rate keeps climbing and it breaks my heart. I've looked at suicide in the eye and I'm very, very thankful I'm here today to be able to share what I've learned and my stories and what I've gone through. I want to make a difference and I want to make an impact in the world. I believe that what I did in the pool is it's a start. 23-time gold medalist. That's not who I am. I'm a human. And I want to leave the world a better place than when I first came on it. And whatever I can do to change, to help, I want to. Yeah, getting ready for the holidays will be fun.
Dial in your golf game a little bit.
100%. We need to get ready for Waste Management and a couple member guests we have coming up. But I can't let you get me like you got me last time.
I got you pretty good.
I know. You put a beat down on me.
Well, I appreciate so much, man, what you stand for and our partnership together. And it's really just been a pleasure.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
So thank you for everything you do. And till the next time.
I love it. Thank you. Awesome
Thank you.
spending time, homie.